words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity of vanities, saith the preacher, vanity of vanities, all is vanity. What profit hath a man of all his labor, which he taketh under the sun? One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. The sun also ariseth, and the sun goeth down, and hasteth to his place where he arose. The wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about unto the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuits. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place from whence the rivers come, thither they return again. All things are full of labor, man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, nor the ear filled with hearing. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. I, the preacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem, and I gave my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail hath God given to the sons of man to be exercised therewith. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting cannot be numbered. I communed with mine own heart, saying, Lo, I am come to great estate, and have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yeah, my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge, and I gave my heart to know wisdom, and to know madness and folly. I perceive that this also is vexation of spirit. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow. For in much wisdom is much grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increaseth sorrow.
I said in mine heart, Go to now, I will prove thee with mirth, therefore enjoy pleasure. And behold, this also is vanity. I said of laughter, it is mad, and of mirth, what doeth it? I sought in mine heart to give myself unto wine, yet acquainting mine heart with wisdom, and to lay hold on folly, till I might see what was that good for the sons of men, which they should do under the heaven all the days of their life. I made me great works, I builded me houses, I planted me vineyards, I made me gardens and orchards, and I planted trees in them of all kind of fruits. I made me pools of water to water there with the wood that bringeth forth trees. I got me servants and maidens, and had servants born in my house. Also I had great possessions of great and small cattle, above all that were in Jerusalem before me. I gathered me also silver and gold, and the peculiar treasure of kings and of the provinces. I got me men singers and women singers, and the delights of the sons of men, as musical instruments, and that of all sorts. So I was great, and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me, and whatsoever mine eyes desired I kept not from them. I withheld not my heart from any joy, for my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor. And then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do, and behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirit, and there was no profit under the sun. And I turned myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. For what can the man do that cometh after the king? Even that which hath been already done. Then I saw that wisdom excelleth folly, as far as light excelleth darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walketh in darkness. And I myself perceived also that one event happeneth to them all. Then said I in my heart, as it happeneth to the fool, so it happeneth even to me. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart that this also is vanity, for there is no remembrance of the wise more than of the fool forever. Seeing that which now is in the days to come shall all be forgotten. And how dieth the wise man as the fool? Therefore I hated life, because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous unto me. For all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Yeah, I hated all my labor which I had taken under the sun, because I should leave it unto the man that shall be after me. And who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool? Yet shall he have rule over all my labor, wherein I have labored, and wherein I have shewed myself wise under the sun. This is also vanity. Therefore I went about to cause my heart to despair of all the labor which I took under the sun.
To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. A time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time time to guess and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rent and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. What profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he laboureth? I have seen the travail which God hath given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. I know that there is no good in them, but for a man to rejoice and to do good in his life, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor. It is the gift of God. I know that whatsoever God doeth, it shall be forever. Nothing can be put to it, nor anything taken from it. And God doeth it, that men should fear before him. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And God requireth that which is past. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And God requireth that which is past.
Took another look at the weight of it all, the absolute crushing misery. People pile on each other under the glare of the sun. I saw the tears of the broken, and let me tell you, there wasn't a soul there to offer them a hand. Power stayed firmly on the side of the boot, while the oppressed sat in the dirt, completely and utterly alone. I started thinking the dead had the right idea. They're out of the game, finished with the struggle, and they've got it better than the ones still drawing breath, still trying to make sense of the mess. But honestly, the guy who's never been born is the real winner here. He hasn't had to witness the relentless, ugly work that defines our time on this planet. Then I looked at the hustle, the sheer grind, and the success we chase. It turns out most of it is just driven by a desperate, petty need to outdo the guy next door. You've got the fool who sits back and lets himself waste away, but then you've got the other extreme. Look, a single handful of peace and quiet is worth infinitely more than 2 hands full of toil and the mental gymnastics that come with it. It's vanity, man, total emptiness under the sun. You work yourself to the bone, your eyes never satisfied with the wealth you're amassing. And you never even stop to ask, who am I killing myself for? It's a bad business, just chasing the wind until it slips through your fingers. Two are better than one, period. You get a better return on the effort. If one of you hits the deck, the other is there to haul you back up. But God help the man who falls when he's alone, with nobody to reach down and grab him. If two people lie together, they stay warm. But how do you keep the chill off when you're on your own? A threefold cord that doesn't snap easily. Give me a poor kid with some sense over an old arrogant king who's forgotten how to listen to a word of advice. I've seen it happen. The kid comes out of a prison cell to take the throne, while the one born into the palace ends up with nothing. I watch the whole restless crowd walking under the sun, following the next young thing who rises up to take the lead. There's no end to the people, no limit to the masses. But eventually, the next generation won't care about him either. It's just more wind in your hands. Walk prudently when you go to the house of God, and draw near to hear, rather than to give the sacrifice of fools, for they do not know that they do evil. Do not be rash with your mouth, and let not your heart utter anything hastily before God. For God is in heaven and you on earth. Therefore let your words be few, for a dream comes through much activity, and a fool's voice is known by his many words. When you make a vow to God, do not delay to pay it, for he has no pleasure in fools. Pay what you have vowed. Better not to vow than to vow and not pay. Do not let your mouth cause your flesh to sin, nor say before the messenger of God that it was an error. Why should God be angry at your excuse and destroy the work of your hands? For in the multitude of dreams and many words there is also vanity, but fear God. If you see the oppression of the poor and the violent perversion of justice and righteousness in a province, do not marvel at the matter. For high official watches over high official, and higher officials are over them. Moreover, the profit of the land is for all, even the king is served from the field. He who loves silver will not be satisfied with silver, nor he who loves abundance with increase. This also is vanity. When goods increase, they increase who eat them. So what profit have the owners except to see them with their eyes? The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eats little or much, but the abundance of the rich will not permit him to sleep. There is a severe evil which I have seen under the sun. Riches kept for their owner to his hurt, but those riches perish through misfortune. When he begets a son, there is nothing in his hand. As he came from his mother's womb, naked shall he return. To go as he came, and he shall take nothing from his labor, which he may carry away in his hand. And this also is a severe evil. Just exactly as he came, so shall he go. And what profit has he who has labored for the wind? All his days he also weeps in darkness, and he has much sorrow and sickness and anger. Here is what I have seen. It is good and fitting for one to eat and drink, and to enjoy the good of all his labor, in
which he toils under the sun, all the days of his life which God gives him, for it is his heritage. As for every man to whom God has given riches and wealth, and given him power to eat of it, to receive his heritage and rejoice in his labor, this is the gift of God. For he will not dwell unduly on the days of his life, because God keeps him busy with the joy of his heart.
I've watched a dark injustice beneath the daylight, a heavy burden that weighs on the hearts of men. A soul blessed with gold, with honor, and every desire, lacking nothing the world can provide. Yet the heavens deny him the taste of his harvest. A stranger feasts while he stands hungry. It is a hollow existence, a bitter and rising grief. If a man fathers 100 sons and dwells for ages, until his years are beyond counting, but his spirit never finds the warmth of peace, and he goes to the earth unmourned and forgotten. I say the one born in silence, who never drew breath, is more fortunate. For the quiet one arrives in mist and fades into the night, its name draped in the velvet of the dark. Though the silent child never saw the sun or felt the wind, it finds a rest the restless man will never know. Even if he lived 2,000 years but never saw the good, do we not all drift toward the same final shore? A man toils only to fill his mouth, yet the hunger of the soul remains unquenched. What edge does the scholar hold over the simpleton? What gain has the poor man who walks upright among the living? Better to find peace in what the eye beholds than to chase the ghosts of wandering desire. This too is a vapor, a reaching for the gale. Whatever is was named long ago. The nature of man is written in the dust. He cannot argue with the one who holds the thunder, nor contend with a might greater than his own. The more words we speak, the more vanity we stir. How is any man improved by the noise? For who truly knows the good in these fleeting days? We move through life like a lengthening shadow, and who can whisper to a man what follows once his time has set beneath the sun? precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. Better to go to the house of mourning than to go to the house of feasting, for that is the end of all men, and the living will take it to heart. Sorrow is better than laughter, for by a sad countenance the heart is made better. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning, but the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. It is better to hear the rebuke of the wise than for a man to hear the song of fools. For like the crackling of thorns under a pot, so is the laughter of the fool. This also is vanity. Surely oppression destroys a wise man's reason, and a bribe debases the heart. The end of a thing is better than its beginning. The patient in spirit is better than the proud in spirit. Do not hasten in your spirit to be angry, for anger rests in the bosom of fools. Do not say, why were the former days better than these? For you do not inquire wisely concerning this. Wisdom is good with an inheritance, and profitable to those who see the sun. For wisdom is a defense, as money is a defense. But the excellence of knowledge is that wisdom gives life to those who have it. Consider the work of God, for who can make straight what He has made crooked? In the day of prosperity be joyful, but in the day of adversity consider. Surely God has appointed the one as well as the other, so that man can find out nothing that will come after him. I have seen everything in my days of vanity. There is a just man who perishes in his righteousness, and there is a wicked man who prolongs life in his wickedness. Do not be overly righteous, nor be overly wise. Why should you destroy yourself? Do not be overly wicked, nor be foolish. Why should you die before your time? It is good that you grasp this, and also not remove your hand from the other. For he who fears God will escape them all. Wisdom strengthens the wise more than 10 rulers of the city. For there is not a just man on earth who does good and does not sin. Also do not take to heart everything people say, lest you hear your servant cursing you. For many times also your own heart has known that even you have cursed others. All this I have proved by wisdom. I said I will be wise, but it was far from me. As for that which is far off and exceedingly deep, who can find it out? I applied my heart to know, to search and seek out wisdom, and the reason of things, to know the wickedness of folly, even of foolishness and madness. And I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, whose hands are fetters. He who pleases God shall escape from her, but the sinner shall be trapped by her. Here is what I have found, says the preacher, adding one thing to the other, to find out the reason which my soul still seeks, but I cannot find. One man among 1,000 I have found, but a woman among all these I have not found. Truly, this only I have found, that God made man upright, but they have sought out many schemes.
Where is the man who truly sees, who can unravel the mystery of things? A man's insight softens the stone of his brow, turning the harshness of his gaze into light. I say, guard the word of the high seat, keep the vow you swore before the divine. Do not rush to leave his side, nor linger in the shadow of a dark cause, for he does as he wills, and his word is iron. Who can ask him, what have you wrought? Finds a path from harm. The heart of the wise knows the season and the law. For every struggle there is a time and a reckoning. Though the sorrow of man grows heavy as the mountain, we walk in a mist, blind to what comes. Who can tell a man when the bell will toll? No man has power to hold back the breath. No hand can stay the day the spirit departs. There is no discharge from that final war, and no silver can buy a way out of the grave. I have watched it all beneath the turning sun, a time when one man rules another to his own ruin. I saw the lawless carried to their tombs, departing the sanctuary only to be erased, forgotten in the streets where they walked in pride. This too is a vapor, a hollow wind, because the blow against a crime falls slow. The hearts of men grow bold in their darkness. A sinner may strike 100 times and endure, yet I know this, it shall go well with those who walk in awe, who stand in reverence before the unseen. But for the wicked the days are but a fading shadow. They shall not linger, for they do not know that holy fear. There is a strange grief upon the earth. The righteous suffer the fate of the cruel, and
and the cruel receive the rewards of the just. I say again, this is vanity. So I praise the simple joy of the table. Let a man eat, drink, and find gladness in his toil, for this is the portion given him through all the days of his wandering life. I set my heart to master the deep wisdom, to watch the restless labor of the world, where eyes find no sleep, neither day nor night. Then I saw the vast work of the great architect, that no man can grasp the design beneath the sun, though he exhausts himself in the searching, though the sage claims he has found the key. The truth remains hidden in the deep.
I weighed these truths within my soul, that the just, the wise, and all they build rest in the palm of a power unseen. No man can look at the world and know if love or hatred waits for him tomorrow. A single fate rolls over the earth like a fog, one end for the saint and one for the seeker, one end for the pure and the stained alike, for the one who offers blood and the one who offers nothing. As it goes with the good, so it goes with the wayward. The oath breaker and the oath keeper share the same soil. This is the bitterness beneath the sun, that one destiny claims every man. The hearts of men are heavy with madness while they draw breath, and then they descend into the silence. But while a man still stands among the living, there is a spark. Better a living hound than a lion in the dirt, for the living carry the weight of their end. But the dead have no knowledge, no silver, no prize. Even the memory of them is bleached by the rain. Their love has vanished, their fury is cold, their envy has withered away. Never again will they walk the path or share in the toil beneath the light of day. So go eat your bread with a grateful heart, drink your vintage with the spirit at peace. The heavens have already smiled on your labor. Let your wool be white and your brow be anointed. Find your joy with the woman you love through the fleeting mist of your vanishing years. For this is your lot in the struggle, the portion given to you under the sky. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with the strength of your bones. For there is no craft, no thought, no wisdom in the hollow grave where your feet are bound. I turned and saw a truth in the dust. The race is not won by the fastest feet, nor the war by the strongest blade. Bread does not always fall to the wise, nor gold to the man of insight. For time and chance are the masters of all. Man knows his hour no more than the fish in the net, or the bird tangled in the fowler's snare. So are we caught when the dark season falls, dropping like a shadow without a sound. I saw a city small and few in number, besieged by a king with iron and towers. There lived a poor man, rich in spirit, who saved those walls with the quiet of his mind. Yet when the smoke cleared, no one spoke his name. I say wisdom is greater than the might of armies, though the words of the poor are cast to the wind. Listen to the quiet voice of the sage over the roar of the king of fools. Wisdom is a shield better than steel, yet one shadow can ruin a harvest of light.